Imagine a remote tropical island surrounded by turquoise waters and untouched sandy shores, far away from bustling cities and crowded trade routes. Now, imagine this same island as a vital epicenter of global geopolitical tensions. A place where three of the world's major powers, the United States, China, and India, silently contend for influence. Welcome to Diego Garcia. This island, part of the British-owned Chagos Archipelago, is nearly 2,000 miles away from Africa's eastern coastline. Although peaceful and picturesque at first glance, Diego Garcia holds a far deeper significance. Since the 1970s, this atoll has served as a crucial US-UK military base, providing the United States with strategic capabilities to operate from the Middle East to East Asia. But why is Diego Garcia suddenly gaining more attention? And how has a tiny island in the Indian Ocean become such a significant player in the great power chess match involving global giants? Diego Garcia's journey from tranquil paradise to strategic military hub began during the Cold War. The United States leased the island from Britain during the 1960s to establish a significant naval and air base. Over the following decades, this base allowed the U.S. to conduct pivotal operations, from launching airstrikes in the Gulf Wars to counter-terrorism activities in Afghanistan and Iraq. Located almost centrally within the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia is uniquely positioned to monitor, project power, and control key maritime routes linking Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Four of the world's most important shipping choke points lie within this vast ocean: Malacca, Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, and the Mozambique Channel. Consequently, Diego Garcia is strategically invaluable, allowing the United States an unmatched advantage in surveillance, logistics, and military reach. Yet today, this isolated island is no longer just a Western military asset. It's increasingly the focus of broader geopolitical shifts driven by China's rapid naval expansion. Beijing's rising presence throughout the Indian Ocean has driven both the US and India closer together, with both powers viewing Diego Garcia as essential to counterbalance Chinese ambitions. For over a decade, China has steadily expanded its strategic footprint across the Indian Ocean. Beijing's ambitions materialize in both economic and military dimensions. By investing billions into infrastructure projects in 46 ports throughout the region, including those in East Africa, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and even Australia. China's Belt and Road Initiative has granted it strategic access points capable of hosting military vessels. Moreover, China established its first overseas military base in Djibouti in 2017. Located near a critical maritime choke point, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, this facility allows China to project naval power far from its shores. Combined with a growing military presence in Cambodia and security partnerships with Pakistan and the Maldives, China's expanded influence represents a direct challenge to traditional American naval supremacy. The United States and India are deeply concerned about these developments. For India, particularly, a dominant Chinese presence threatens trade lifelines and national security. Over 95% of India's trade, including energy resources vital to its economy, transit the Indian Ocean. An uncontested Chinese presence could jeopardize these lifelines, putting India's economic and strategic stability at risk. Historically, India considered the Indian Ocean as its backyard. However, China's encroachments have dramatically challenged this assumption. India's strategic thinkers now openly worry that their country could lose significant influence to Beijing's aggressive expansion. In response, India has embarked on assertive countermeasures. New Delhi's strategy includes enhancing diplomatic, military, and economic ties with island nations like Mauritius and Seychelles. In Mauritius alone, India has funded major infrastructure projects including hospitals, supreme courts, and transportation networks, emphasizing deep-rooted cultural connections, given the large ethnic Indian population on the island. Moreover, India has constructed strategic military facilities such as an airstrip on Agalega Island, part of Mauritius, to monitor Chinese naval activities. India's growing cooperation with the US is also visible. Recent military exercises, joint technology development programs, and defense deals like India's proposed acquisition of the advanced F-35 fighter jets from America underline both nations' shared goal of containing China's reach in the region. Yet, India faces significant hurdles. Past failures to secure bases in Seychelles and diplomatic setbacks in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and the Maldives highlight vulnerabilities. These issues reflect the challenges of competing with China's significant financial clout, technological capabilities, and diplomatic agility. Recently, Diego Garcia has entered the global spotlight due to a controversial sovereignty dispute. The islands were detached from Mauritius by Britain before its independence. Now, Mauritius demands sovereignty back, having secured diplomatic backing from India and tacit U.S. agreement. Why does this matter geopolitically? Simply put, handing back Diego Garcia to Mauritius could fundamentally alter strategic balances. Previously, some Republicans in the U.S. expressed concern that returning sovereignty might allow China to exert influence over Mauritius, endangering American military security. Yet, under evolving geopolitical realities, the United States under President Trump warmed to the idea. A potential compromise between Mauritius, the UK, and the US seeks to maintain security arrangements, ensuring the island remains a reliable outpost to counter China while respecting Mauritius's sovereignty claims. This dispute embodies the complexity of geopolitics. Small island states such as Mauritius, previously overlooked, now wield surprising strategic leverage, balancing diplomatic ties among larger powers to their advantage. Mauritius's growing ties with both India and China highlight how smaller nations increasingly navigate this challenging geopolitical landscape. Moving forward, the competition over Diego Garcia and the broader Indian Ocean may escalate tensions significantly, or potentially foster unprecedented cooperation. As geopolitical dynamics shift, the role of Diego Garcia as a central strategic pivot is unlikely to diminish. The United States, facing its own domestic policy uncertainty, continues to expand its Indian Ocean military capabilities. The U.S. Embassy expansion in Mauritius and continued emphasis on Diego Garcia highlight long-term strategic commitments. India, too, actively boosts naval and air infrastructure in strategic locations like Oman's Duqm port and the Minicoy Islands. These proactive moves show that New Delhi no longer intends to rely purely on soft diplomacy, but aims for tangible military and economic leverage. China's long-term ambitions remain uncertain. Its financial investments across the region have slowed down due to economic factors, yet strategic infrastructure projects persist. Meanwhile, diplomatic maneuvers such as port expansions and military outreach in African nations continue actively. A key question remains: can these powers manage their strategic competition peacefully? Or might small flashpoints like Diego Garcia transform into broader geopolitical confrontations? Diego Garcia is no ordinary tropical island. Beneath the surface of clear waters and idyllic beaches lies a crossroads of competing strategic interests. The U.S. needs Diego Garcia to safeguard maritime dominance. India sees it as central to counter China's threats, and China's growing reach challenges these assumptions, striving to build a new order reflecting its interests. This contest offers crucial lessons about modern geopolitics, how seemingly distant places can hold profound global significance. For nations like Mauritius, Seychelles, or Sri Lanka, increased strategic competition can mean unprecedented opportunities or dangerous entanglements. As we move forward into an era defined by renewed great power rivalries, Diego Garcia will likely remain central in diplomatic negotiations, military strategy, and economic competition. Ultimately, this small island illustrates vividly how global politics today unfold far from traditional centers of power, turning even the most distant islands into geopolitical battlegrounds. So next time you imagine tropical islands, remember Diego Garcia, the small island with a big role in shaping the future balance of global power.